Hey guys, it's Charlene. Today we are going to make a cute dinosaur card using some products from Whimsy Stamps. I am using the Roar-a-saur Clear Stamps along with the Jungle Frames die set, the Dotty 6x9 stencil, as well as the Quick Strips die set. So let's get started. I'm starting out with the stencil and I am going to be doing a pattern in greens and teals. So I'm starting out with a light yellowish green, I'm moving on to a teal, then I'm coming into a slightly darker green, and I'm just making sure to layer these a little bit on top of each other. Now I'm coming into a blue, and then I'm going to repeat a couple colors. I'm going back to the teal, and then I'm going to go back to the yellowish green. I thought this looked a little bit like a fun dinosaur scale, so I thought the greens and the yellows would go really well. Of course, I'm making it a little bit more whimsical than probably what a dinosaur skin looked like to begin with. But what I've done is I left my stencil on there and I'm spraying some glitter mist here. So that way when you turn the card at an angle, you're going to get a little bit of glitter on all of those dots. You just want to clean your stencil once you're done and wait until it's dry before removing the stencil, so that way the glitter doesn't stick to your hands. So I'm cutting out using that Jungle Frames die, and now I'm going to come in again with the yellowish green here, and I'm going to go ahead and darken up the frame. So I'm going to be using the dots still in the center, but then on the frame it's going to have this nice green color, kind of like a jungle vine. And this die set is really fun. It comes also with a smaller frame, you can see there, as well as several little leaves that you can cut out. This is perfect for like any sets where you have jungle animals, or even if you had zoo animals. It's also great for dinosaurs, all kinds of stuff. So I'm ink blending on my leaves here that I've cut out, and I'm using that light yellowish green color, and then I'm coming in with a little detail blending brush and I'm using the darker green just so I can make the leaves look like a little more three-dimensional, give them some shading so they're not quite so plain. Once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out two of the cute little dinosaurs from the set. I think these dinos are absolutely adorable, and there's lots of really cute sentiments that come with this set as well, so I'll be able to make lots of different cards with it, which is fun. So I'm using some alcohol ink markers here to go ahead and color my little dinos, and in hindsight I wish I had made one of them purple, but you know, we went with green and gray, and I think at the end of the day the card is still super cute. But I'm stamping out my sentiment here, and like I said, there's lots of different ways you can combine the words that are included in the stamp set, which is nice. So I've used the Dino-Mite, and then there is a little stamp that says "You Are." So there's a couple of other options you can use with the "You Are," which is really nice. Get that stamped on top of it. And then I'm going to use one of the quick strip dies to go ahead and cut out the sentiment. I love these. I use them all the time. If you guys watch my videos, you know that I use those quite a bit. So I want my sentiment to kind of pop a little bit off the card. So I'm just going around with that light teal ink that I used on the stencil, and I'm just kind of rolling the sentiment along the edge, so that way it gives a little hint of the teal on the sides. I did go ahead and cut out off camera 4 of the jungle frame in white, and I've layered them up, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue on the top colored one. And this is just because I want my frame to sort of pop off the page, and because those vines are a little thin, it didn't really make sense to me to use foam tape or something like that. I figured it would just be easier to cut out a few and layer them up. Didn't take much time at all, because you can very easily put them together and then just go around the edge like I'm doing here to make sure they're squeezed together, and they'll line up just perfectly. So now I'm going to put my card together, I'm going to start by putting the frame down because I want to be able to make sure that it's centered. So if I ever do this where I have a frame and I want to put the inset piece inside of it, I'll always glue the frame first. That way it's a little easier to make sure that everything is centered on my card. This is an A2 size card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm gonna get my frame down there, and then I can pop in that cute little stenciled piece. And that 6x9 stencil is really nice because you can actually get more than one card out of it if you're making A2 size cards. So I only used about half of the stencil, and I have the other half of the sheet to use on another card, which I might do that for a video next week. We'll see. I don't know. It's such a pretty result. I really love the stencil. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop up the dinosaurs here with some foam tape. I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment down just so I get an idea of where I want my little dinos to go. I do ultimately end up pulling these back off and putting a little bit thicker foam tape because I wanted them to pop up even more. But they're cute. They would have been cute like this too. So it's all a personal preference thing on how much dimension you want to have on your card. Certainly with the thinner foam squares, your cards do go through the mail easier. That's something to think about as well. For me, that's not so much of an issue. I don't mind paying a little bit more for postage if it means that I get to make the card the way I want to. I figure I put all that time into it and the cost of all the supplies and things like that, I might as well make the card the way I like it. But I'm coming in, I'm layering up those cute little leaves, and I'm just kind of offsetting and angling each layer so that way you can see all of the leaves. And then I'm going to put one grouping in the bottom left hand corner of the frame, and then I'm going to put a grouping in the top right hand corner of the frame. So you could cut out multiples of these and have them all the way around the frame. You just put a few here and there. There's a lot of different options depending on how many cute little critters you're putting on your card, or if you're doing a landscape version. It just depends. You can use lots of leaves or just a few, whatever your preference is. I think this looks really cute because the vines on the jungle frame there still have the polka dots, so you could sort of see where the background polka dot goes into the frame, which is nice. So I've added a few pieces of confetti. I used some of the greens from the St. Patrick's Day mix, which was nice. Still getting a lot of use out of that guy. And then like I said, I did come in here and pop up my little dinos on some thicker adhesive foam squares just to give them a different amount of dimension from where the sentiment was, and I thought that looked nice. Once I was all done, I went ahead and added a little bit of glossy accents to the top of my leaves, as well as the little dots on that bottom dino. And if you turn it in the light, you can see the glitter on the spots, which is super cute. All right, guys, well, here's my finished card. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some helpful information today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so I can continue bringing you crafty content in the future. I hope you guys find some time to get crafty today. And until next time, happy crafting.